Hello and welcome back to another news video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. This time we're continuing our look at new additional optional items added to the Mogstation cash shop, or as it's more commonly known these days, the Final Fantasy XIV online store. Today, the 26th of January at the time of recording, marks the addition of a new Eastern Lord Errant and Eastern Lady Errant outfits. These are longer weighted for the Western market. These have been available on the Korean and Chinese Final Fantasy XIV clients for some time now, and we've been looking forward to them. Unfortunately, they are gender-locked outfits, and there are significant differences between the male and female variant. However, they do cost the same. As you can see, if we click on the link to go to the store, you'll see that these will cost you independently $18 US. That is the equivalent in Great British pounds of £11.16 each, or we have in euros, that's €13.50, and in Japanese yen, that's 1,980. So as you can see, for this, you are getting a 5-set piece of attire. So 5 pieces. It comes with a hat, a jacket, wristbands, trousers and shoes for the male characters, and for the females we get the hat, coat, gloves, skirt and boots. All of these are dyeable, but they have very interesting dye palettes which we have basically got to show you in the game. So let's hop into the game, show you some previews of each of the items individually, some rotations, and then some dye previews. Right then, here we go. This is the female attire first then, obviously on my main character Meoni here. And I had to wait a little bit for this to be delivered, unfortunately. As you can imagine with the Mogstation, a lot of things take a while to be delivered. But instantly you'll notice that this is quite an interesting sort of almost half leather, sort of half quilted chest piece. And we have the helm there, which reminds me of all manner of things that are probably culturally insensitive, such as, you know, basically referring it to it as Van Helsing, but I'm sure this has its roots in the Eastern attire that it's based upon, my ignorance withstanding, of course. The boots are incredibly striking, I think you'll agree, with those buckles there. They're probably one of the nicest sets of sort of like, almost look a little bit like Converse in many ways. I really, really like those. The gloves are another outstanding piece to this set. I think you'll agree when we have a look on close-ups momentarily after we do this pan, you might agree with me. The back of the robe then has this intricate design on the back of it, as well as on the bottom of the skirt there where the fabric changes. We also have this sort of black sort of satin ribbon, which is quite nice. The helm then, the hat, actually has a large ribbon draping from that, which undoubtedly will clip with your character as you swish it around, running around. It's quite long. Yeah, it does look really cool though, as you're standing here. It does hold quite a nice silhouette. Now, this won't be everyone's cup of tea, obviously. You know, there are lots of people who do not like long-robed outfits, so this is instantly going to be probably on their, you know, their list of things not to purchase. But for £11, can I argue with the quality on show? Well, it all depends on the dye options, which we'll have a look at in just a few. So these items individually then, that's a good idea next to have a look at the items individually, because some people only want certain outfits for certain pieces. You'll see immediately then the helm is, I'm a massive fan of, basically. This half veil, this like half veil on one side of the face is absolutely fantastic. I would love to see more of this material present in other outfits personally, as well as ones present in the game rather than just on the Mogstation cash shop. I think it looks pretty good. I don't think it looks tacky or anything like that. Obviously, this is the veil used, or at least the same sort of texture used on the wedding attire, right? If I'm not mistaken. It does look to be the same sort of texture they're using there. The hat itself then, I would definitely use, as I've said, for like Van Helsing type cosplay, as much as that might be insensitive to somebody somewhere, depending on what this outfit is based on. They're usually based on actual outfits from cultural examples in the world, but I can't stop thinking about Van Helsing for some reason every time I look at that hat. As we move down then to the chest, this is something we probably need to look at exclusively, just to show what it looks like without these gloves on. The gloves are exceptional, so let's whack those gloves off just for a second. We've run out of room Let's actually unequip the hands into our thingy like that. Get a helm off just for a second. There we go. Individual items. That's the name of the game here. That's what we're trying to do. So this then is what the chest piece looks like on its own, without any adulterations of the gloves or etc. You'll notice then immediately that it's designed to have those sorts of gloves equipped on it. We do actually have the bottom still on there, but you know, it's better than not having them on there. You're not going to gain anything by not seeing it with them on. But you'll see that one side is almost like a diving jacket. You see this sort of fabric here? It reminds me of a diving jacket, the way that it's tucked up to the wrist there, with that sort of almost PVC. And then on this side we have the exposed arm. So it's kind of like whatever you're going to pair this chest piece with is going to require either really long gloves, similar to the Makai Moon gloves, for example, for White Mage from the Garrow event, or something akin to that to make it look decent. The back then having this very intricate sort of detail. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Is it a dragon? It looks kind of serpenty. Yeah, it looks like a long serpent, a bit like Alta Roite then, you know, a Chinese sort of serpent dragon. Very cool. We've got this little sort of minimalist chain thing going on the waist there as well. It's not a bad looking chest piece, is it? But it's also not the best, in my personal opinion. Up close, you get a bit of pixelation, as you would imagine. Nice red ribbon on the front. Yeah, it's not terrible. The other thing to look at then, because a lot of people will be asking, what does the leg armor look like on its own? And honestly, I would love to answer that myself. So let's have a quick peek. So this is the skirt, which, yeah, it's just a wrap skirt, basically. It does have this intricate sort of weird ring thing on it, though, to pin it together. I presume that is just a pin to pin this long piece of fabric. It kind of looks like you've got a curtain off a curtain rail and just pinned it around your waist. That's kind of what it looks like to me. It's very generic, kind of basic looking, but I would imagine with this texture that it would dye quite a solid colour, of which we'll have to have a look in just a moment. But yes, let's move on to the boots then on their own, because I'm sure that those will look wonderful. Where are the boots? There they are. Yes, I'm doing the majority of this live today, so as you can see, so it takes a while to actually put it together. If we zoom out, there we go. That's the view I was looking for. Maybe a little bit more. Perfect. Awesome. Right, so that's what the boots look like. They've got a very intricate heel with this red and black sort of line design, almost tribal. And then you've got the half done up, but not really very tightly fastened buckle there. I would probably have to tighten that a little bit more myself if I wore something like this. They are very nice though. They're a great alternative to some of the other trainer sort of boots that we've been, seen recently in the game. Sort of stuff like from the Lord and Ladies Najar outfits. Very similar in that sort of design, but a lot more realistic and a lot more down to earth. And I like the curled up toe as well. Very nice. Right, let's move on to the male outfit. Okay, here we are on the male attire then, which is, quite different, I think you'll agree. As, sort of like systematically, it doesn't look like the same set, does it? I mean, I suppose it's designed to be a certain theme, and I would imagine it's, the equivalent of another outfit in that particular culture or background that I'm unfamiliar with. But at the same time, it doesn't seem to match the female attire in any way, shape or form, apart from a few things such as the ribbon present, and well, that's about it really, and probably the fact that it's a robe. So as you can see then, if you're a fan of robes, then you're going to love this. If you're not, then you're not going to love this. It's a fairly interesting looking outfit. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Pokemon trainer, and I think the first thing that Fran said was, well, actually she sang when she saw it, was "Gotta catch them all," and I have to agree that there is a little bit of that for some reason in this. And you'll see later with the dye previews, it definitely backs that up. So on the back then we have those sort of weird two belts sort of hanging there below the tail of my character. Very interesting, not really sure how those belts work, but they're there regardless. These big trainers are quite nice actually, I do like those. The top of the outfit then this sort of like navy blue sort of, I don't know what you would call this, some kind of jacket, and then a skirt as part of the jacket. So the skirt isn't like actually a separate piece, it's just one big robe, which might annoy some people. It does immediately look like it would be a separate part of that. It kind of reminds me from a perspective of maybe when you get warm when you're outside playing football or something, and you wrap your jacket around your waist. It's got that kind of vibe going towards it, at least, which is quite cool in itself. Of course, it's probably a traditional design. So if we move in closer, this is what the hat looks like up close. We have this particular symbol. I presume this is symbol and not writing. I'm not really sure what that would stand for. I'm sure, unless it's like a font that something's written in. Kind of looks like a number 8 with a load of exclamation marks and weird L-I-V. It says exclamation mark L-I-V, and then above it there's a number 8 or a B. Not sure what that means. Not at all. It does kind of look like a bit like a fishing hat. And for that reason I quite like it. I can imagine a lot of people using the hat specifically in a lot of glamours to come. It is quite nice. It is definitely useful having a hat like this that's equipable on all classes, obviously level 1 and above. It's just a shame that this stuff is gender locked. I don't really understand why it has to be gender locked, but there we go. The top of the chest then, as you can see, with that sort of medallion or necklace type thingy. Not sure what that's about, with little dots on them. Then we got this ribbon down at the waist towards the bottom of the robe, and we have this sort of like tassel thing going on. And then on the back of the robe we have this weird white block, which looks like it would, you know, house a name tag or something. I'm not really sure what's going on here. And those belt buckles really do confuse me. So what we need to do now is do the same thing as we did for the female characters and have a look at those individual elements separately. Now we've looked at the chest piece, as you can see, so let's take that off. So there's that hat. But down here we have the gloves, which are actually quite nice. I mean, they're not exactly gloves when you look at it. They are basically a couple of beads and a bangle on one side and a leather wristband on the other. So yeah, the female attire definitely has actual gloves, and the male one just sort of has a wristband thing going on, which is quite nice. I can see a lot of people actually using that for glamours, but at the same time I would have liked, you know, the glove slot to be something more conventional, personally, from a male character. For the legs then, these are quite good. These are quite nice, actually. They have zips all along them. That might be something that people like. I suppose this is a fashion somewhere where you have a zip that goes all the way around the trouser that doesn't have an actual zipper in a weird spiral kind of thing. I don't know what's going on there. There is a zipper on this side, but there isn't a zipper on this side if you look at it. So it's a bit confusing. It's like, this is where I keep my knee. This is my knee pocket. And this is my lower thigh pocket where I keep my thigh, but I can't access it. It's a bit weird, really, isn't it? Don't know why you would need a fine knee pocket, but, you know, I don't live in the place where this is designed, so who knows? Who knows what you might need those particular pockets for. The boots, though, are really cool. They're a lot higher, a lot broader than the female versions. Still got that sort of toe curl, but not quite as heavy as the female ones. Again, it would if there's no explanation why these are gender locked. Personally, I think we should have access to both sets independently. We've got this weird sort of like S thing going on, or a 2 depending on how you read it, whichever foot. Yes, very unusual design. I don't particularly like designs that look like numbers or letters, because it makes me think about numbers and letters, which is why I don't particularly like the helmet. It just makes me see things that I can't unsee. But yeah, all in all, not a bad set of stuff, but it remains to be seen how it dies. So let's get to that, shall we? Alright then, so here's the default colours then of the male attire, which isn't really growing on me, if I'm perfectly honest with you. It's not the sort of outfit that I would want on my male characters. There are parts of it that maybe would work, but as you can see as we go through some of these dye options, there's soot black there. It looks pretty much the same. The problem I have with the male outfit is the dye options that go with the lower half of this robe. Let's call it a skirt for the just for the sake of it. I think that the dye options should have included the lower part of the robe as well. I know some people might disagree with me completely there, but personally I think that it's going to be very hard to match stuff with this sort of like beige cream colour. Although I guess the top of the robe with the thing around the collar, that being beige as well, I guess does help a little bit. I just can't see myself using this chest piece in combination with other things to create a glamour set. Usually I, would find that the chest piece is the easiest bit to go with other things, but in this particular outfit, I'm not that convinced. It looks pretty good in vibrant colours. Probably not the pink there, but yeah, the red looked good. Yellow is like instantly Power Ranger-esque, jumping straight into Morphin Time / Pokemon Trainer. Same with the blue there. There's Dragoon Blue looking pretty sharp. It dyes well for what it is. I just feel that the lower half of the robe is letting it down somewhat, being that such a heavy amount of that fabric being beige, basically. There's pure white looking pretty decent. Honestly, I think the black's going to work. Yeah, the black works the best there in terms of contrast. Not my personal cup of tea. The metallic colours next, then there's silver starting off. Maybe these are slightly better, but I'm not a fan, mostly because of the lower half of the robe being a matte colour and the rest of it being a metallic colour doesn't really work for me personally. I mean, you might be watching this and going, wow, what a beautiful colour, and I'm glad, because that's what this video is predominantly for you to get an idea of what you might want to dye this outfit, or even if you want to purchase it based on its dye options or what each item looks like, and I'm glad that I can provide you that. But yeah, not my massive cup of tea, really. Yeah, just it is what it is at the end of the day. The orange looks completely awful there, in my personal opinion. I think green might look good. Yeah, that looks pretty good, actually. Especially the hat. I always I call this Grur green because one of my friends loves the metallic green colour on every outfit he owns, so I can imagine he would quite like that on this outfit as well. The hat does remind me of a fishing hat still, so he might quite like to purchase this one and dye it green himself. Probably mix and match with some of his other pieces, but not my personal cup of tea, like I say. But those are the dye options for the male attire in their entirety. So as we move on to the female attire, we'll give it the same love, go through all the same colours. But the default colour then, with that lovely pose there, I like that a lot better, I have to say. I am biased because I played a female character, but it just looks better, doesn't it? The difference then as we transition into soot black, you see, is that the skirt turns black there. Things look a little bit washed out with that matte colour, but that's the nature of the basic colours. Same with the snow white there, looking a little bit beigey, creamy. That's the sort of colour that would probably be the lower half of the skirt on the male outfit, isn't it? All of these matte colours then, there's Dalamud red, looking pretty good. I did say earlier in the video that I bet you that the skirt dyes quite a solid colour, like a block colour, RGB colours, rather than any of the rest of it. And that's become apparent, actually. One of the issues there then with this full set, I think, is that the rest of the outfit has all these very different textures. So we have leather on the lower half of the robe, we have a shiny sort of veneer on the helm, and then we have a very solid block colour texture for the skirt. So I don't think this really works too well outside of white and black. But I suppose as we get to the more vibrant colours, that might change. Hopefully. But yeah, you can see what I mean. The texture difference is quite alarming, isn't it? Quite shocking. Ruby red then. Oh no, the dye. Yeah, that looks really, really offset, doesn't it? You got a really, really bright skirt and then that slightly pitted leather robe with the hat. Lots of different styles here, isn't there? Even so, I can imagine that each of these pieces would look exceptional if you designed another glamour set around them. And I actually imagine that the metallic colours are going to look pretty good in a minute as well, as we transition into those. Turquoise does actually look pretty good. I don't know, turquoise is always I'm quite forgiving of turquoise. It always does seem to look pretty good regardless. There you go, there's the pure white. That's exceptional. I would probably keep that on the outfit, especially considering the contrast between the black sort of lilies there as well. The jet black looks nice as well, very Van Helsing. I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times, but I'm going to go hunt vampires and demons now. Here's the metallic colours then. As I predicted, the skirt no longer looks out of place. So this might be a great time for, if you're keeping the set in its entirety, might be a time to crack out those metallic dyes then. Because it does, you know, it blends in perfectly, unlike the other matte colours that we have. Look at the gold actually, that looks pretty good. That might be the first time I've seen metallic gold look good on an outfit, a completed outfit. Very nice, actually. Orange, looks like Terry's chocolate orange, makes me hungry. Very nice. Yeah, I think for the most part the dye options on the female outfit are definitely better than the dye options on the male outfit. The only thing that annoys me on the female outfit is that quilted reverse of the underside of the robe there. That quilted texture always being that weird red and a grey. That kind of puts me off in a big way. I'd have to probably wear some really big, thick boots or something, like thigh-high boots, like the adventurer boots or something like that. Nice thick ones, some like New Rocks or something, just to, you know, get your eyes away from that quilted texture. Because now I've mentioned it, you're all looking at it on the video. You're all looking at that red texture and going, yes, I see what you mean. But the metallic dyes look quite nice. Quite surprised. Yeah, all in all, I think the female outfit, surprise, surprise, once again has got the better deal out of the two sets, which is unfortunate. I still think that they would make more money if they made both of these sets gender unlocked and sell them both at the same time, or focus on just one outfit. There they are side by side. Focus on one outfit and make it gender unlocked. I'm sure that wouldn't be too difficult. The only thing I can think of on the male outfit is trying to allocate for bust sizes, but yeah. It's not, I don't know, I don't see many excuses personally, but I still believe that they should be gender unlocked, because there are some set pieces there that I would love to have on the female character and some that I would like to have on the male character, especially when it comes to the trainers, because they are quite different and it's always nice to have a different variant. And yeah, especially when it comes to the robe. Can you imagine a male in the female robe? That would look really cool actually. So finally then, the last thing for me to say is that this, unfortunately, the helm does not work on Viera or Hrothgar. So I do apologize to all of you bunnies and you big cats out there. Square Enix has not given you any love, but that could be the fact that this is a designed outside of the Japanese Square Enix team dealio, and it's a Chinese and Korean design, so who knows at this point. Hopefully in the future we get gender unlocked stuff, but before then maybe focus on the races that we have and make it so they can equip the actual helms from the sets. That would be nice, but there we go if you're interested. Anyway, let me know what you think about this set below. Is it ringing any bells for you, or are you going to stay away from this one? The price is relatively cheap in comparison, although some outfits are more expensive than this. You know, that's going to come down to your own interest and whether you think it's worth the price or not. Let me know below, like I say, and I'll see you all next time.